The most common place to see art 40 years ago was in an art gallery. Traditional art was stationary and it was only observed within its frames. Now, there's a popularizing medium of art, and that is art coming off the wall. Art installation is not a new art form. What is new is the proliferation of mobile phones in art galleries. Capturing the perfect photograph for art visitors or taking the most flattering selfie in front of a captivating art installation piece is not uncommon. But does photo taking expand or reduce the art-going experience? Is a phone a distraction, or does it bring connectivity from the artist, artwork, and art-goer? Investigating people's focus on capturing photographs of an art installation and how Instagram feeds this focus is important. It will likely change how the future generation views artworks and how they think we perceived art, and most importantly, how we shared art. Beginning this ethnographic study, I needed to confirm beliefs that there was a rise of smartphones in art galleries. To start off with quantitative information, I counted the amount of people pulling out their phones to take a picture of an art piece. There were 2 exhibitions I went to. In 30 minutes of Sun Shun's Maniac Universe in the Museum of Contemporary Art, 37 people took images. There are now more than 2,800 posts on Instagram with the hashtag Sun Shun. The second display I went to was the Space Makers and Room Shakers exposition in the Art Gallery of New South Wales. The number of people taking photographs undoubtedly confirmed the proliferation of smartphones and prompts how sharing habits are changing. After accounting for just 15 minutes, 46 people who entered the art installation took photos. The hashtag Space Makers garnered more than 2,000 posts, and posts tagged Room Shakers amounted to more than 1,800. Do these numbers indicate that people capturing photos are less immersed with the artwork than someone who isn't on their phone? If ethnographic studies require collaborations between an ethnographer and consultants, can this be translated to other areas outside ethnography? Instagram is an online archive, or better said, an online gallery. Years ago, the technology of the photo was an extension of our being and could be withdrawn from circulation like any other technology if we decide that it is virulent. But with Instagram and other digital platforms, they're never static, they're active, and this highlights the connections between the artist, the audience, and the medium. There are 2 connections on Instagram that's vital for artists. First, the platform allows artists to converse and to collaborate.
I'm Pham. I'm studying a Bachelor of Visual Art and Design at AC. This artist that I met, she had a little stall at like a flea market at the Rocks, and she saw like a popular store in front of her. She was like, why are they so popular compared to my store? And they started talking and whatnot. She found out that they use social media like Instagram to connect with like their audience, and so they'll be like, oh, I'm having like this sale, or I'm having this happening, or I'm bringing like a new collection in, and they're always posting, they're always engaging. She started finding out that they were collabing with other artists through Instagram. So I think like I agree with her, and like the younger generation uses social media, and then you've got like older people who are like in their 40s, you know, like you'd think that they would be complaining, but they're not. Like they're actually using social media to collab with other artists. I feel like everyone's embracing it, everyone's collabing, there's no reason to collab, and the fact that Instagram is making it easier for artists to collab, like why not use it? It's another tool that we use. Like when it comes to art, it's just an extension.
Secondly, the medium permits a deeper and wider audience engagement with the artist.
Hi, my name is Melissa. I'm a visual artist and I do sculptures and installation, and I grew up in Perth. On my own Instagram, people are inspired by what I see and they're interested in what I'm doing. So I might document it. I think I try and put a limit on it though. I don't like walking around with my phone all the time. So it's more about documenting a little slither of it.
It connects the artist to the audience. So like when you have videos of like the process, like that makes them feel like they're a part of it, you know. You get to see it. It's a little bit more interesting than just seeing the finished product, you know. You get to connect. The audience gets to connect to the artist on a personal level, where they see their process, they see their like ideas, and they see like how their mind works. And I feel like social media is really interesting.
Similarly, the existence of the artwork will not happen without considering the audience. Installation art heightens audience engagement.
They create a different level of interaction. So it's either the audience is interacting with the artist, or they're interacting with like an artwork, but usually the artist is like involved in some way, whether it be physically or through like the video and whatnot. And I think that's like what we're interested in. It's like deeper meaning and deeper level of interaction. you know, where it's more effective when it comes to like seeing a painting. Like you're more prone to walk up to like an installation and walk through it and like touch things and see things, where like you see a painting on the wall and you're like, okay, that's a painting. You know, our generation, we're more involved in our art, and so you see a lot of artworks based on audiences now. Like even mine's like based on the audience experience. Like everyone views certain things differently, everyone experiences certain things differently. And so I think artists are starting to get more obsessed with the idea of the audience and their experience. And that's why we're like more interested in making artworks for that. There wouldn't be an artwork, like these installation and performance arts, there wouldn't be an artwork without the audience. And that's their interpretation of their experience. The fact that they're making like Instagram videos, like that's an interaction. That's how they're viewing it, they're touching it, they're taking photos in front of it, that's their interaction. And that's what you want when it comes to like a performance art or an installation, really.
The concept of social media being an extension of ourselves is not new.
With our generation and like with artists in our age, we really rely on technology and we really rely on social media and just being known and networking. Like you really use social media to network. And the fact that people are taking photos, I think for us as like the younger generation, we view social media as something that's important when it comes to artists. Like it's an extension of us now. Like art doesn't just live in like art galleries anymore. You know, it's uploaded onto the internet. People are making videos of it. People are like writing editorials on it. It's not just like a painting on a wall anymore. It lives on the internet.
This begs the question if audience engagement impedes their focus on immersing with the art.
I see taking photos and like audience engagement as a good thing, but I can also see that it's a distraction to the actual artwork. Like I can see why people like, you know, you're just taking photos for the sake of taking photos, or you're taking photos for like to be famous or whatever. I can see why.
I think that in this day and age, people just document what they see more day to day compared to remembering it, you know, from the experience. But people used to take photos on their actual camera. Now the phone is just so much more accessible, so everyone takes photos of it. I think that's just more about the documentation side of it. But yeah, there is a point where I feel that it's becoming a little bit too much, where some people are too busy trying to take the perfect photo rather than just stepping back and appreciating the art. I guess I can speak from my own experience when I go and view other art. So because I'm an artist, I have a big appreciation for art. So when I go to a show, I make sure that I like fully experience it first, and then I might document it at the end.
As a person who opposes like using Instagram all the time and like uploading, like when I went overseas, I refused to take photos all the time. Like it's just I wanted to live in the moment, and that felt authentic to me. Everyone views something differently, and so when it comes to authenticity, people, when they take photos and whatnot, like that's authentic to them. Like that's what they want to capture, that's what they want to present to the world. And so I think technology is a distraction when it comes to looking at art, but it's their take on the artwork. So I think, yes, technology is sometimes a barrier between the artist and the audience, but it can also enhance the experience.
A person's photograph is their engagement with the artwork. They're continuing the perception and interpretation of their artwork by uploading their own version to Instagram. As I cruised through the post tagged #spacemakers, most photos looked alike. They were all taken in similar positions and looked identical. It is possible that although photography intensifies the new illusion of perspective, it may also be a reduction of creation. And Instagram allows photography to mirror the external world automatically and to yield an exactly repeatable visual image.
Reductive because everyone wants a copy. If so, for instance, you see a really nice photo of an artwork on a particular angle, everyone wants to take the same photo. So in that sense, reductive.
When you're in person and it's 3D artwork, you can take as many photos as you want, but you still can't capture the experience of it and the size and the dimensions and how you actually feel about it. So I think it's still really important to be present and really experience the artwork for what it is while you're there, because like it's great to take photos and look back and show people and tell stories, and you know, the story is still about your personal experience that you had in person, so it is still really important.
We can't stop people from photographing installations. How we decide to immerse within artwork would depend on the context of the installation, and some artists may encourage photography more than others.